Former APC spokesman Timmy Frank accuses secret police and DSS of leaking P2B and Bishop Oyedepo'S phone conversation, alleges other opposition politicians' calls are tapped. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel. To get notified when we post hot juicy news updates, please click on the notification bell. This is exactly what I said once I saw that this is what is being done to P2B. Let the ruling party also let them tap into their calls and let us see what we're going to find. The news in detail, please. He added that though the DSS had the right to intercept unlawful communication, but it shouldn't be leaking private conversations that are not favorable to the ruling party. A former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress (APC), Comrade Timmy Frank, says Nigeria's Secret Police, Department of State Services (DSS) has metamorphosed into an intelligence arm of the ruling party and urgently needs a total overhaul. Frank said the DSS need to wake up and restore the confidence Nigeria had in its leadership. In a statement sent to Sahara reporters on Tuesday, he accused the secret police of monitoring and then leaking telephone conversations of opposition political leaders in order to embarrass them and impress the APC element. He added that though the DSS had the right to intercept unlawful communication, it shouldn't be leaking private conversations that are not favorable to the opposition. According to Frank, the main responsibility of the agency as stated in its enabling act include counterintelligence, internal security, counter-terrorism and surveillance, as well as investigating some other types of serious crimes against the state. The Department of State Services or the State Security Service needs a complete and total overhaul. The agency, which was established by military President General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, was supposed to be partnered after the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) in the United States of America or the MI5 Security Service in the United Kingdom. It also charged with the protection of senior government officials, particularly the President, Vice President, state governors, and visiting heads of state and government with their respective families. But the DSS has since deviated from its core mandate in the last 10 years by becoming a willing tool to the government in power. In recent times, the DSS has focused more on regime protection and fostering the interests of politicians and the ruling party and their allies. The DSS and All Progressive Congress (APC) have become one and the same, and it is almost difficult to differentiate a statement written by the DSS and the All Progressive Congress. How do you explain away the fact that the DSS has continued to tap the telephone lines and release phone recordings of opposition politicians and influential Nigerians critical of a government? The latest misadventure was a leaked telephone conversation between Labour Party presidential candidate P2B and the Reverend Cleric Bishop David Oyedepo, the founder of the Living Faith Church Worldwide and presiding bishop of the Faith Tabernacle in Ota, Ogun State. On the eve of the presidential election, Bishop Oyedepo had a private telephone conversation. There was no terror plot, and that conversation in itself was not even about the use of violence. Obi simply asked Bishop Oyedepo to help him convince his congregation in the southwest to vote for him. Similarly, a day after the presidential election, former President Olusegun Obasanjo received a call from musician Charles Oputa, professionally known as Charlie Boy. In the conversation, Charlie Boy asked Obasanjo what could be done to stop the stealing of people's mandate. Obasanjo suggested that they could protest. The right to peaceful protest is guaranteed by the Constitution. Private discussions are what they are, private. Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution expressly states the privacy of citizens, their homes, correspondence, telephone conversation, and telegraphic communications is hereby guaranteed and protected. He further described the recent leaked phone conversation as highly unprofessional and smacks of partisanship. It is worrisome when the most sophisticated security agency of the country descends into the arena of politics in order to favor the ruling party. How do you explain it that the immediate past DG of the DSS, Musa Lawal Dora, was a member of the APC and its successor Yusuf Bichi also has obvious ties with the ruling party? His son Abba is a member of the All Progressive Congress. He openly supports Bola Tinubu on social media. His wife Aisha got the current Kano governor-elect. Abba is arrested last year following a confrontation between them at the VIP launch gate of the Aminu Kano International Airport. Yes, Abba is a citizen who is free to support any candidate of his choice, but he is not an ordinary citizen, an ordinary son. He is the son of a DG of the boss of the DSS, whose inactions could have a huge ramifications for the country. Why have the Why have the telephone conversation of Bola Tinubu and his minors never been leaked? Why is it that it is only the conversation of opposition politicians that are being shared with journalists or posted on social media? It is obvious where Beach's loyalty lies. He seeks to be retained as the DSS DG and is trying to ingratiate himself to Tinubu by bootlicking. Under Beach's watch, the DSS has strayed from its core mandate and metamorphosed into a town crier instead of stealthy intelligence agency. The agency has become flippant, garrulous, and loquacious. It spends more time making noise rather than gathering intelligence. Almost on a weekly basis, the once respected agency churns out insipid and unintelligent press releases, while other counterparts in foreign countries are involved with more noble and heroic acts. These are some of the DSS headlines as portrayed in the Nigerian media. DSS invite Chidi Onuma for wearing Biafra t-shirts. DSS cautioned against violence and hate speech. DSS reiterates call against violence in Nigeria. DSS says there are plans to incite religious violence across the country. DSS says some prominent persons plotting to destabilize the country. DSS uncovers plots to destabilize Nigeria. The latest misadventure of the DSS is another false alarm about plans to enforce an interim government on the country and to also carry out nationwide protests. The nationwide protests have begun in different parts of the country immediately the result was announced. So this is not the product of intelligence gathering. Also, the DSS should have made the arrest if indeed it had uncovered a plot to foist an interim government. The agency also showed its disdain for the rule of law by warning the judiciary against making frivolous orders. What qualifies as a frivolous court order? The DSS is clearly a lawless organization which selects which order of government to obey or disobey. Hence, the hundreds of Nigerians being detained illegally in its various centers. The last time I checked, the overthrow of the government in Nigeria is treason and attracts the maximum penalty. So why has the DSS decided to announce a plan to overthrow a government when the headline should be DSS arrest for attempted coup? He said the APC is the party that has the power to foist an interim government on Nigerians by virtue of the power it wields at the ruling party. But you will hardly see the DSS protecting the lives and dignity of regular Nigerians, and so-called secret police are preoccupied with us, hounding those who make their paymasters uncomfortable. Just today, April 4th, 2023, bandits abducted 10 students from Government Day Secondary School in Kachia, local government area of Kaduna. The Department of State Services never saw this coming because they were busy tapping the telephone lines of the opposition while terrorist lines were left to their devices. He said, on the watch of the current DSS leadership, thousands of school children have been abducted. UNICEF estimates 11,000 schools were closed between December 2020 and early 2022 over insecurity, largely in the north. The DSS never saw this coming. The train passengers were abducted. The Nigerian Defense Academy was attacked and a senior officer killed. Prisons were attacked and over 1,000 escapees from all these attacks continue to roam freely, including over 400 from the Kuje Correctional Center. The DSS has not been able to do anything. Preach on, bro. Tell those people they're not doing their jobs. Then they serve APC, meanwhile they're supposed to come in and serve the country. Alright, on those notes, you have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.